Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing well today. I want to share the scripture with you all. I'm going to be reading to you from Job chapter 1. If you don't mind, the page is turning right here. Job chapter 1 and 6, it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them." Who was there? Satan. The sons of God, the angels of God, came to present themselves before the Lord. And who was there? Satan. He came to present himself before the Lord. What's the lesson? The devil can go to church. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence cometh thou? Or where have you been? Then Satan answered to the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it. What's my point? The devil's alive. He's not dead. He's here in the earth. He walks to and fro in the earth and up and down in it. He walks to and fro, up and down in the earth. 1 Peter 5 and 8 says, Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walks about, seeking whom he may devour. The devil is not dead, and the devil is very much alive and in the earth. He's here. His wares are sin. That's what he does. He tried to offer these things. His wares are the glories and the riches and the kingdoms of this world and position and things of that nature. And whatever your fix and your taste and whatever your flavor, he's got it. He's sin. Whatever kind of sin, the works of the flesh that Galatians 5 talks about, jealousy, anger, malice, wrath, lust, all of those things he talks about. Those are his wares. He has fallen angels that are with him, a third of the angels of God. You got to think, how many are those? How many angels are there in heaven? If these are a third of the angels of God, there are lots of these angels, fallen angels that's here in this earth that set up principalities and powers according to Ezekiel 6. They're set up in different areas of this earth, different principalities and powers that are there to do certain things within that portion of the earth among certain people, cultures. So that's how you go to different parts of the earth. The atmosphere will be different. The ways of life will be different because there are different principalities and powers that are on different parts of the world. That's why certain things can happen in some countries while they cannot. Certain ways people are, certain things that they believe in, certain gods that they worship, principalities and powers are set up there. But you have to understand what people do is there are many people that they are living their lives and doing whatever they want to do. And they have this illusion that it's all them. They're the one that's deciding to make the decisions that they're making. No, there's nothing evil that's done in this world that doesn't belong to Satan. There's no sin that can be committed that did not come from him. Because he's the father of lies. He's evil. There's no good in him. And he knows and understands that sin corrupts the man and the heart. He continues to offer everyone a fruit, just like he did with Adam and Eve. He gives you a narrative, and it's up to you, it's up to me if we're going to buy into that. Because truly, we have the dominion and authority that the Lord gave to us. You can't just fall into sin. There's something that is brought before you and you have a decision to do it or not. You're not suddenly, your body is not atomically, your body is not automatically stripping itself and you're completely out of control. Like, oh, why am I taking off my clothes? Oh, why am I planning a weekend? Oh, why am I having these racist thoughts? No, it's a thought. It's something that it's an idea that comes to mind, a thought that enters your heart that comes from the powers of darkness, and you choose to carry it out or not. And as you do that, it begins to change your mind and your heart. The more you do it, the more darkened you become. And so people need to understand that Satan is going to and fro in this earth, going up and down in it. He goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And that is why Jesus warns us in Matthew chapter 5 and 30 that I will turn to. In Matthew 5 verse 30, he talks to us about the dangers and the consequences of sin and how we should not allow it. In Matthew 5 and 30, Jesus says, if your right hand offends you, cut it off and cast it from you. And if let me go up to 29. And if your right hand offend you, pluck it out and cast it from you. For it is better for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. And if your right hand offend you, cut it off and cast it from you. For it is profitable for you that one of your members should perish, and not that your whole body should be cast into hell. Now, God is not literally telling you to destroy your body. Our body is a temple of the living God. He's not telling us, Jesus is not saying go pluck out your eye, because you know what, you'd still try to sin blind. He's not telling you cut off your arms, because you find a way to sin without your arms. You could have no arms and no legs. You'll still be trying to sin with just a torso. He's not telling us to literally do that, but he's giving us a parable to show you how repelled and how seriously we should take sin. If it's causing you to sin, then not only should you remove it, not only should you separate yourself from it, but cast it away from you. Don't be around it. For it's better for you to enter in hurting, brokenhearted, you had to break that off, people laughing at you, feeling alone. It's better for you to lose that. It's better for you to for your friends to laugh at you and say you're getting weird, than for you to continue doing what you're doing and your entire body perish. So that's something, guys, that we have to understand. The Lord Jesus recognizes and teaches us the danger of sin. He demonstrated to us in Matthew 4, when Satan tried to tempt him, he demonstrated to us that it is possible by the power of the Holy Spirit, if we want to deny the temptations of sin that the enemy will try to bring to you. Satan was in the wilderness. How did he get there? Because he goes about up and down, to and fro in the earth. He goes about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He saw Jesus in the wilderness, and he goes there to tempt him. And he offers him things. The glories and the riches of this world. He showed it to him. He says, I will give this all to you. I will give you all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. I will give it to you. All the kingdoms of this world, things that are built and all that's, and the glory of them. The glory, we see that we're in times of people, just everybody's trying to have their face out there and doing different things. And they want to be rich, and they want to be known, and they want to have money, and they want to have status, and they want to have this and this and this and this. And they're getting it. Because they've rejected God, even if they're talking about God. Talking about God does not mean that you are of God. Satan was in the presence of the Lord in Job 1. Satan's not dead. He's not being quiet. He's got principalities and powers all set up. and people are buying his wares, and he's offering people stuff, and he's putting people in positions so that they can lead other people and deceive people. He's bringing couples together so they can be all together and in love and distracted by one another, not thinking about their eternity. There are many different ways in which he brings sin and destruction in the lives of many. And some people may say, well, why does God allow that? Because it's possible to resist the devil. The Lord at this point has created us because during this time on this earth, God is going to know who's truly for him, who's going to yield to him, who's going to follow him, who's going to trust him. And those and only those individuals that endures to the end and allows him to help them through it. He's only selecting those who are tried and true to him and who allows him to help them, because he did something before that. He knows we can't do certain things on our own. He knows we can't overcome sin. He knows we're prone to it. So he sent his son. He sent his only son and allowed him to be sacrificed for us. And then after that, the son left. Jesus left and says, it's imperative that I go or the comforter will not come. On top of that, God sent a comforter to help us because he knows we're going to need this comforter. We're going to need him because he's going to guide us and lead us in all truth. He's going to direct us. He's going to tell us about things to come. Only what he hears from the Father will he relate to us, and he will give us the supernatural strength that we need to overcome the weaknesses of the flesh. So he has us covered on every side. We just need to do our part. And only those who have gone through things and who stick with him and who yields to him and allows him to make the changes in us, those who have been gone through the fire and the flames, only those would be found worthy to receive the things that he has prepared for them who love him and who obey him. But well, why didn't God just do this? You're not him. We're not him. There's a reason. Then there are other people, I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe God is coming. I don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in this. I don't believe that Jesus is going to come back in the sky, in the clouds. But as I said before, you don't believe that, but yet we are suspended in nothing. We live in the air. We live in the sky. We're not settled down on a flat foundation anywhere. Our earth is slightly tilted on an axis, but we're in a world, in the universe, floating around in darkness. We're just encapsulated in all we need to thrive and survive. This earth is spinning super fast and we don't feel it, and we're not dizzy. I believe that the Lord will return because we're already living in the sky. We're already living in the air. Why is it so hard to believe he will come if we live in the air already? But I digress. God has empowered us with all we need. And what God has prepared, what God has in store, he's not going to give it and allow just anybody to be there. The new heaven and new earth is going to be a place that not just anybody can enter in. And by that, it's not that he's being selective, but simply sin and darkness and the person who's wishy-washy and back and forth with him will not enter in, because you will be that same way as a living and eternal soul. That's why when Adam and Eve sinned in the beginning in the Garden of Eden, he sent them away. He said, now they have the knowledge of good and evil. Let's send them out of here, lest they go and eat of the tree of life and be an eternal soul. So therefore, no, you cannot enter in as sinful in nature, being in this place that God has prepared, where now you live eternally, causing a ruckus, trying to lie on now a supernatural level more than you did when you was on this earth, trying to stir up strife and trying to sleep around with people. That's what you will be trying to do in heaven. These individuals will be trying to do in that place. And that is why God is like, nope, we're going to send my son. Let's send my son forth. Give everybody. He died for all the world. No other God has done this. No other entity that anyone is talking about has done this. Send his son for all the world. And whosoever will accept, and whosoever is willing to go through and to go through the process and transformation through Christ and endure and overcome and trust him along the way, only this person who is tried and true will Jesus present before the throne of grace with exceeding joy and say, enter in and say, Father, I can attest to this one. I can attest to this daughter, this son that they have endured. Only they shall enter in. Because it's possible to overcome. Why was the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden, someone may say? Because Adam and Eve could have resisted that. They did not have to do it. And that's what's important to God in the face of sin and in the face of adversity. Will you still believe me? That is a sign of trust. That is a sign of true love. That's a sign of true dedication. Imagine being married to a person that you've got to hide all the women on the planet or hide all the men on the planet to make sure that they won't do you wrong. No, a sign of their love and their faithfulness to you is what they do when they are set, when that temptation is in front of them or when they're in a place where it's present. You don't always want to think that you have to be there with them for them to do right. And we got to realize God knows what he's doing. But I want to end this video by telling you, Satan is alive and well. And so if you want to go across the highway and you want to go out the back door and slip out there with him, you can only expect repercussions for it. You can't go out playing with the devil and think nothing's going to happen. There's a lot of people, what they're doing, there's a sign that says beware of dogs, but you have some kids that like to go and mess with the dog and play with the dog because the dog's behind the fence. And that's what a lot of people do with their grace and their mercy. Oh, I have grace and mercy. So they go over where there's danger. They go where they know they should not go. And so they play and they shake the fence. Then you have others, they don't believe in God. They just think they're making all the decisions and they're making all the choices. But they're going to be sadly mistaken. There are many people who have died in their sins that would love to come back and tell us the truth. And God has allowed people to die in their sins, and they experience death and they experience hell, and they come back and tell us. And yet you have people, doctors, that are trying to explain what happened to them as if they've died before. And I always say to these doctors, did you do a death internship? Did you do a death internship? Did you do a death rotation? Then you have others that will laugh at them and tell them, no, it was this, it was that. Have you died before? Then be quiet. But the reason why people do that, fear. They don't want to believe that. God has given all of us an opportunity to make things right. He's showing us and showing us, he's showing us and he's showing us. And I'm not here to praise the devil, but you got to realize that when you make choices to go and play in the devil's backyard, there are going to be consequences for it. You can't go shaking and doing whatever you want to do and think nothing's going to happen. And one of the things that I want to talk about is some of the things that we read about and some of the things that we see. While it can be terrifying, things that's happening in the news, guys, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, when I read some things, the Lord is like, Arlene, some of these things that you're reading about, it's sin. It's the final fallout of sin. Things that people's been doing, things that people have been entertaining, things people are doing. You can't mess with the devil's things and think that you're not going to pay with it. You're going to pay for it. People are messing around with the occult. They are going and getting their palms read. They're going and they're doing this stuff. They continue doing certain things over and over again. They're going and they're dating. They're going on these dating apps and they're dating strangers and they're entertaining men and they're doing all these things. And so all these years they may have been doing it. They met some nice people or whatever. They had a good time. Nothing happened, but it sets them up for that person that now murders them. It sets them up now for them doing something really crazy because they've always been doing things. A lot of times the way people die or something really tragic happens, if you look at their history, you'll see that they've been doing this for years. They've been doing certain things for years. They've been warned about certain things for years. And they just kept on going. Why? Because it was smooth sailing the whole time. The devil let you get away with stuff for a long time to set you up for your ultimate demise. So guys, it's important that we stick to the Father. Those of us who are in the faith, stick with him. Sin seems fun. It seems that way. You look and you see the riches and you see the kingdoms and the glories of this world, the kingdoms and the glory of people having fun and whatever they're doing, Christ free, the kingdom of the glory of those who are claiming to be of the Lord, but they're living a carnal life as well. This is another branding strategy. This is another group of the devil's elites that they put, because Satan wants to shake the church up. Satan wants to take people off their path, so he puts in his tares and sow them among the kingdom. The Lord Jesus gave a parable with that. While men slept, they woke up, they were tares among the wheat. And so they said, the servant said to the master, should we pull up the wheat? Should we pull up the tares from among the wheat? And the master said, no, leave them, lest while in the process of pulling up the tares, you pull up the wheat with them. Leave them till the end, where they'll be separated. And so you see, sometimes there are so many people that say that they believe in the Lord. The Lord has become a fashion piece. The Lord has become, he's the new haute couture right now. Everybody's wearing him and saying I'm a believer and pairing that with other things and mixing it with other things, mixing it with carnality and Jesus, all of this stuff. I'm gonna have my godly top on, and then I'm gonna have some carnality here to go with it, okay? And I'm gonna finish it off with a bit of neutrality. I want some neutral colors. Yeah, all of that is happening, but the Lord is saying, let everybody be as they are, because in the end they will be separated. The tares shall be separated from the wheat. The tares, the goats, shall be on the left-hand side of the Father, and the sheep shall be on the right-hand side. But what you have to realize is when you go into the devil's workshop and you go into his arena, you can only expect that there will be fallouts eventually. And it's just something in my heart to talk about this. I think I'm going to talk about that in the next video, not here. But guys, the devil is alive and well. He's not dead. He's not gone. And what he's doing, he's going up and down, to and fro in this world, seeking who he may devour. Be sober and be vigilant.